Would you please give a very warm welcome to Music Venue Trust patron KT Tunstall.
Hi, hello everyone, how are you? Welcome to the 6th Annual Venues Day. I'm delighted to be here as a fresh new patron of the Music Venues Trust. It's the largest gathering of grassroots music venues in the world, with over 250 venues represented here today. And of course, when I heard that, I was like, wow, that's a gig every Friday for 5 years. My first gig was when I was 15 years old, and it was in the back of a pub in St Andrews in Scotland. And I was asked, when I was preparing what I was going to say today, was there anything that could be improved about that venue? And it would have been fantastic if it had been legal for me to be in the building. That would have been great. But it was fantastic. It was at the back of the pub. It was at 6 o'clock before a lot of the people came into the pub, and I just played to a bunch of my friends. And one of my friends brought their friend, and it was a guy called Kenny Anderson, who's a local musician, also known as King Creosote, who I'm sure has played in many of your venues around the country. And after that my 5 songs that I'd written, he was really taken with what I was doing and asked me to join his band. And after that, I started getting to know a lot of the Scottish grassroots music venues by going on tour with him. Now, growing up in St Andrews, it was a tiny little rural town. There's about 11,000 people when I was growing up. There's no train station, there's no airport. It's a university town, so it's kind of, metropolitan. There's a good crowd in the pub. But that town spawned the Beta Band, James Yorkston, Django Django, the Pictus Trail, who now runs Lost Map Records, and myself. And that's all with, and the Fence Collective, all with no major music venue. Now, at that first gig, I would have been pretty shocked if someone had come up to me and said, by the way, it's going to take another 15 years for you to get a record deal. And that's what happened. And that record deal would never have been offered, as is the case with probably most record deals ever, would never have happened without the environment of grassroots music venues. I remember after I'd made my record, I decided to have kind of one last blast of going on tour with someone else. And I went on tour playing a metal box with a pole and a clarinet through a distortion pedal. I can't play the clarinet. With an Orkney kind of pop, what was he, like a punk folk outsider artist from Orkney called Half Cousin. And he got the gig supporting the Earlies, which some of you may know, a fantastic band from Manchester. There's about 12 of them. And they pack into these tiny venues. And I had to take a night off from the tour because I had an opportunity down in London. And then I came back out and joined the tour. And one of my favorite memories is us all huddled around this tiny little TV in Fibbers in York, watching my first performance on Jules Holland being aired while I was back out on tour. And it was just incredibly special. And having the venue kind of cheering me along, it was awesome. And it's not just about record deals and becoming hugely successful and famous. It's about working musicians. It's about working musicians who are bringing not only well-being to their own lives, but to the community and offering that culture to a local community. And I was signed off the back of probably my 10th show in a beautiful, leaky little basement in Marylebone, and it was a night called Cashmere Club. And it was run by Tony Moore, who's still supporting, yay, hi Tony, Tony Moore and Christian Barnes, who are running that club. And they had an amazing setup. It was free entry, which most of us can't manage to do. I mean, it would be great, wouldn't it? But you've got to make money. But they managed to have a situation where it was free entry, and you paid via silence, via listening to what you were watching. And I would never have the opportunity to do what I do if I was never heard. You've got to have these platforms, these places, where as a new artist you can actually go and play and people are listening to you. They're not just going in to eat a pie and have a pint. They're actually coming to listen to music. So venues and artists have a lot to gain by working together at this level. And I think it's really important for us artists to say that, and particularly for us to speak up when the venues that have paved our way are under threat. So I'll be doing my part to make sure that my colleagues and friends in the industry are speaking up if any places are under threat, but particularly the ones that have given them support in the early days. And the Music Venue Alliance wishes to be a genuinely representative voice for grassroots music venues, and it's to speak coherently at a national level to impact cultural and industry policy. And we hope that you leave here with steps that you can take and information that you can use to protect and improve your venue in the year ahead, and also hope that you feel that you play a positive role in the Music Venues Alliance, which encompasses over 550 grassroots music venues across the UK. As a gig every Friday for 10 years. Progress has been made, but there's much to do, which is why we're here. I'll leave you with a quote from the late, great David Bowie. Music has been both my doorway of perception and the house that I live in. And you are all that brilliant, vibrant, sometimes stinky, favorite house. So thank you so much for that, and have a great day. Cheers.